I mean, the real cake is you're making a more sustainable life for your farm.
That is it right there.
Because I think, this whole term of the carbon market is such a scary thing. And I feel like, just like regenerative agriculture, sustainable agriculture, I think this carbon market, carbon farming has scared farmers away. And at the end of the day, it's what we're talking about on this podcast is these more sustainable approaches to things to just make sure that our soils are working for us, by having healthier plants out there. At the end of the day, that's what these carbon markets are about, is just implementing more sustainable practices on your farm. And I mean, we can talk about a couple of different ways that we can hopefully move that needle and be sequestering more carbon on the farm.
Yeah. And, just like I was trying to think about how long it's been. So when we move from a nitrogen stabilizer that's detrimental to the soil biology, now they say, oh, well, you can just put a carbon source with it. What's that? What are we doing there?
Well, the way that I understand that, there's nowhere in nature that nitrogen exists without carbon. So carbon, I don't want to use the word stabilize it, but it bonds to it in the soil, and it's going to keep it in a usable form.
Because it's so leachable,
Or you got
volatile.
You got humic acids, you got fulvic acids, and those inherently have anion exchange capacities. Like the CEC of humic acid's like 300,000, it can hold some stuff. And
So what about, nitrogen? So I think that's one of the biggest things I get asked every year is what about these nitrogen stabilizers? Do you think that can be an option for that?
I think if you marry it with carbon compound, I think you can keep that nitrogen in a form that, one, is going to make it more usable to that crop. It's going to put a buffer against the salt for that crop. Then you could put some trace minerals with that, a certain one I'm thinking right there if we're talking about nitrate. You could put a trace mineral with that and take your conversion factor to the roof. So how that's working, though, the way that I understand it, it's just taking that nitrogen and bonding to it and holding that into a form that becomes usable to that plant. It's not going to go through that nitrogen cycle as quickly. It's not cycling over as quickly.
So that's what got us from putting out 80 to 100 units in to 250 to 300 units is because we were over applying because of the loss. Mm-hmm. And you're saying if our soils are better, and
you're not going to make healthy soils by over applying nitrogen. It's not going to happen. Those two things can't exist.
They don't go together.
No, man, it's oil and water.
And your biology is not going to work for you.